Building a brand positioning statement. In this short PowerPoint video, we're going to talk about how to take what we learned in the previous video about building a brand ladder based on attributes, functional benefits, and values, and transforming it into a positioning statement. The positioning statement is then a key part of the briefing document, which is given to the creative team as a blueprint for the campaign they will develop. So let's get started. Topics. The topics we'll be covering today are, firstly, taking a brand ladder and building it into a brand positioning statement. Then we're going to look at the elements of a positioning statement. As I've mentioned earlier, a positioning statement is a blueprint for the brand. No one outside of the account team or the client team ever sees it, but it guides the creative development and the direction of the campaign. Finally, we'll take two well-known brands, as we did in the previous video, and give you examples of brand positioning statements built from brand laddering exercises. A review of brand laddering. Before we start discussing positioning statements, we'll do a quick review of the brand laddering process. When building a brand ladder, you begin at the bottom of the pyramid and list key attributes of the brand. This is just a clear statement of the things that comprise the brand. From the brand attributes, we then define the functional benefits. These are the benefits that come directly from the brand attributes. If we were doing this exercise for a laundry detergent, a key attribute, among others, might be that the detergent has extra bleach. What would the functional benefit be? The clothes that you clean are whiter and brighter. And what might the value be? Perhaps you feel better about yourself because you're doing a better job of taking care of yourself and your family. That would probably be on the esteem level of Maslow's hierarchy. A brand positioning statement structure. Okay, so we're going to ultimately take the brand ladder and make it into a positioning statement. Positioning statements have a certain structure, as you see here. Two parts of the positioning statement, the very beginning and the very end, are in parentheses. That's because those two parts are optional. But in the case of this week's assignment, you should include them. We begin by stating who the target is. Then we simply put in the name of the brand. Then we define the category that the brand competes in. In our examples section of this video, we will get into how to define the category. Then you restate or paraphrase the functional benefits from your brand ladder, and then restate the values that this benefit supports. And then at the end, you can list 2 or 3 key attributes which support the functional benefits and values that the brand instills within its prospect group. Apple MacBook. So let's look at an example we used in the previous video, the Apple MacBook. If you remember, we listed the attributes as state-of-the-art computing capabilities, the OS operating system, the easy-to-use apps included, its elegant ergonomic design, and its stellar reputation. We went on to define the functional benefits which these attributes support as makes doing my work and life easier and more fun. Then what value did we say this benefit supports? We went to the very top of Maslow's hierarchy and defined it as, it allows me to accomplish tasks that express my individuality and creativity. Here's a positioning statement that I wrote for the Apple MacBook. To individuals with a need to express themselves personally or at work, the Apple MacBook is the personal productivity tool that makes doing work and life tasks easier and more fun so that people can express their creativity and individuality because of its elegant design and state-of-the-art computing capabilities. Now notice a few things. I didn't call it a computer, I called it a personal productivity tool. When defining the category, you can define it in a way which makes your product seem more unique. Then the functional benefits and values are direct paraphrases from the brand ladder. Lastly, we just list 2 or 3 attributes which are most relevant to supporting the overall positioning. Now let's move on to Disneyland. As you remember from the last video, starting from the bottom, we listed the attributes as all their lands, such as Fantasyland, Adventureland, etc. We also listed its state-of-the-art rides, experiences, and amusements, family entertainment, live Disney characters, and much more. Then we went on to define the functional benefit, as we did in the brand ladder, as a fun place for families and friends to spend a vacation. And the values from the brand ladder stated as belongingness, family, friends, bonding, and shared experiences. So here's how we wrote the positioning statement. To families who enjoy activities together, Disneyland is the special magical destination that enables families to enjoy fun and adventure together so that they can share wonderful experiences and memories because of its state-of-the-art amusements and experiences. Okay, so let's look at a few things. To families who enjoy activities together. We just don't have to state the prospect in demographic terms. We can add a little more description. In this case, families who enjoy activities together. Then Disneyland, of course, is the brand name, and instead of saying amusement park for this category, we said special magical destination. Think about it. If we just said amusement park, we would then be placing Disneyland on the same level of all other amusement parks. By saying special magical destination, we are elevating it above all other amusement parks. Then we go to the functional benefit that says enables families to enjoy fun and adventure together. Basically, a paraphrase of the functional benefit from the brand ladder. Then we go to the very top of the brand ladder and restate or paraphrase the values. In this case, so that families can share wonderful experiences and memories. Finally, we just go to restate 2 of the 3 of the top attributes. So that's it. Those are 2 examples of how to take a brand ladder for a specific brand and develop it into a positioning statement. Ultimately, the positioning statement is given to a creative team where they then go on to develop creative concepts that become ads. In some cases, we can also write a brand story based on the positioning statement. However, we won't be covering that in this unit. Now on to this week's assignment. This week's assignment is based very heavily on this video and the previous video on brand building and brand laddering. So it might be worth looking at each of them several times. There are 3 parts to this assignment as detailed in Blackboard. You will be helping an ad agency called the Bullhorn Agency do the following for a new client, the D phone. Part 1. Describe who you think the best prospects are for the new D phone. It could be one representative individual, a group of individuals such as a family, or cohort groups like Gen Y or Gen X, or sociocultural groups like hipsters or young professionals. Find pictures that resemble the person groups you have in mind. Give us an in-depth description of them. You should consider demographics, where they most likely live, such as urban versus suburban versus rural, their psychographics, personality type, or any other aspects that you think might be relevant. Part 2. Based upon the prospect you described, build an attributes, benefits, values ladder detailing the most relevant attributes, benefits, and values to this particular prospect group. Refer to the previous PowerPoint on brand laddering. Part 3. Based upon your brand ladder, write a positioning statement for the D phone utilizing the positioning statement structure detailed in the brand positioning PowerPoint, this one. You can read more about the D phone in the Unit 6 introduction. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Email is the best way to get in touch with me. This is an exciting, real-world assignment which simulates how a real ad agency prepares to develop an advertising campaign.